Oh God, good evening, good morning, good afternoon, or good night for some people. I wasn't supposed to do this live stream, but I kind of felt like I needed to do it just to kind of feels a little bit better to hyperventilate with some people. Um, so you feel free to come on board, like we call it midnight therapy, to see how we can sort of help each other as a fan base. I have Phil that just called in as now. I will add him to the stage. So yeah, adding on you there as well. Do you have a camera, or you prefer not to have a camera? Or?
Uh, I've not checked my appearance for a while.
It's all right, man. I'm not so pretty either, mate. Jesus Christ. We
It's
feel
late at
I
night.
feel very ugly today now. Just now when we lost, I could not believe it. Usually you have kids and everything, and they all go to sleep, and you know um, this is kind of you get, hey, there you are. Oh, you're
I don't know.
handsome. You're a handsome guy. Yeah, I'm good, thanks. But I just kind of had to go out with the dog and the family, and just go for. I just couldn't believe it. I was thinking about this VAR, and it's like I was analyzing, and I don't know how you felt, but how was that possibly a how blind can you be? The rule book says, I know my football, right? The Martinez was turning away,
Yeah,
clear and obvious. He hit his leg first, his thigh, and hit him like here, right?
yeah.
Now, how can that be? I mean, I just came to a funny tweet to say the only conclusion it has to be, I know that electricity and gas is kind of expensive at the moment, so that
Yeah,
must be
so
a
someone I mean, I'll be going
how is
out.
yeah. Now,
It's
big up Phil for coming on. I know. Yeah, I mean, what's your general take and feeling of the overall performance, though?
I think, to be honest, from the first whistle, it just looked lackluster. It just looked like we just never got out of second gear, and not in a good way that we could have gone another 3 or 4 gears. We just looked like
Mm.
we just weren't at the races at all. Whether on, I mean, I could be wrong, but I can't see it being the fact of what was announced half an hour before, sort of thing. Maybe it was, maybe it wasn't. I don't know. It's not for me to say, but the whole performance looked lackluster. Whether it was the change in personnel, not going to name any
Mm.
specific names because you could say that some of the people who played. Well, I don't mind naming names actually. I mean, I actually thought Maguire didn't do too bad. I know I've seen him
No,
being
actually,
slated, but
you're
I
right.
don't
I was
I
no.
don't think he did that much wrong really. Um, I think the only thing I would say is the difference in Varane and Martinez starting at the back
Mm.
changes the whole transition from the back, playing the
Yeah.
ball through to the midfield, which gives the chances with like Ericsson and Bruno.
Oh,
They
Eric.
are such just plays different, doesn't it?
Yeah, Phil. I mean, you touched a very good point. I mean, I don't see Harry Maguire getting a lot of game time this season, so I know he's probably going to get picked for the England squad for the World Cup. But yeah, he didn't do too shabby. But you could sort of, I I agree to you to a certain point. There was something missing in the back line and the midfield. So you know we've seen this solid partnership that I'm absolutely praising and loving, which is Martinez Malacia.
Yeah,
That is 1 minute of a signing. Martinez,
15 million as
raw.
well, bargaining it.
Oh, and Ericsson as well. Like what I it's a free signing, but he was mint. He was mint in the beginning. So the first half, like he was totally dominating. And when you think about it, how many people were in for him? How many clubs were in for him in the transfer? Everyone was thinking, nah, he's got a pacemaker. But the kudos, he was running and running, and the passes he was delivering was just sublime. But there was something missing. Yes, we didn't play too bad, according to my opinion. You know, um, they were not the best side, so I just thought we were robbed at the very end. There
Yeah,
was never a pen, but the ball is round and anything can happen. We know that.
I think at the end of the day that it was. I mean, we've seen some terrible VAR decisions over the last
Yeah,
couple of
this
weeks.
season. Yeah.
This was. I did actually think off the back of all the furor over them last time, I thought that we would have seen the back of them for a while. But this was just a shocking decision. And the thing is, you know, the fact that it actually went to the video ref, he looked at it, and then it showed you the replay, and they were like, "Yeah, it's definitely a penalty." I'm like, I just have made no sense whatsoever. I mean, the ref wasn't called across to the screen as far as I can remember to give a second opinion. I think if he was, I genuinely think, well, I don't know, the ref wasn't great anyway tonight, but there is a small chance that the ref could have looked at it and gone, well, actually, lads, you know, it did come off his thigh. What's he supposed to do about that? But at the end of the day, I just don't know. And then obviously there was the potential penalty at the other end, which wasn't even looked at. I think that was my frustration, the fact that it wasn't even looked at. But
You mean the one that was when Ronaldo was grabbed?
Yeah, I mean, it
That was
potentially would have
great.
been a bit soft, but he was grabbed at the end of the day.
He
If
was.
that happened in midfield, it'd be a free kick. So if it happened in the box, why isn't that a penalty?
Yeah, I mean, I was thinking about that too, like because that pen that was given, like even I was watching beIN Sport, right, and even the pundits and the commentary was saying that surely cannot be given. They have to turn it around. The thing is, what gets me, right, and this is like the fair play that we in Prem in the league, we get to see the VAR decision, we get to see the VAR screen, but whenever they're playing UEFA or Champions League, like they never show the VAR, which is kind of a little bit suspicious to me, right? It's not fair, right?
They did show it on the Martinez one on BT Sport, but they didn't show anything for the United one, for the Ronaldo one.
No, but still, I'm not saying that I'm a sour loser, but who hates to lose? And especially when we had majority of the game, they get a shit decision, and you can see even Ten Hag was furious, like
Absolutely.
I've seen Ten Hag live, and he's very cool and composed. As I always said, he reminds me of this Breaking Bad character, like Victor Salamanca, or this Walter White. So you don't want to cross his line. So
yeah, he does look like a Walter White, doesn't
he? Yeah, he does, a Walter White. So Breaking Bad, but that's what he's doing. He's breaking 10 years of bad. But I kind of like that. Yeah, we're just warming up, and bear in mind that this was not our first 11. I keep thinking positive. But you can
it
see
wasn't, but it should have been enough to be able to overcome that team. When you look at it, I mean, they didn't look good either. I think they had that one chance. I think commentator said they had one shot in on target in the first half or something like that. And I think apparently we had 9, but I just don't remember them.
So where do you think went wrong, according to your opinion, in that case? Because was it too many rusty players, too many?
Yeah, I think there was a lot of rush. I mean, I understand why Ten Hag was making the changes, freshening up the team, giving people a chance. I think that sort of, if you're going to, unfortunately, and I can't believe I'm saying this, you would expect that to be enough to be able to beat that team. But, the commentator was saying it first half about David Silva's not done much in it. Second half, so David Silva's been brilliant. He's been fantastic. I'm like, you just said he was no good. And I don't think he or anybody else on the pitch stood out. And Ericsson made some good passes but even some of them were overhit, underhit, intercepted. It just, and I think Ericsson was probably our best player, and he was still had a poor game by his recent standards. I think that Ronaldo, he knows he should have scored.
Oh yeah, I mean, I was just chucking my remote control, because when I realized he was on offside, but that was a mint goal, his header, that intricate passing, that moment, when you had Anthony, they were playing tiki-taka in between, and the final layoff coming to Ronaldo's head, and I was going, what a beauty, it was kind of like, oh shit, we got rolled there again,
that was but I think that was the only sort of moment in the game where we saw that sort of movement. I don't think we saw enough of it. The whole game looked like the ball was moving far too slow from side to side. It felt like a European game. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? I just think that whenever I always used to say it under Fergie as well. When it was a European game, it always seems slower and you always seem to play to the strengths of the other team. I don't know, but
Yeah.
I think sometimes. I mean, I'm not the manager of United, and on another day, Ten Hag, the chances were there. We just didn't take them. We could have won, and we're talking a different result, and everyone's
Yeah.
talking a little bit differently
Yeah.
tonight.
No,
But
yeah, you're absolutely spot on. Like, we're not the manager of United, and we're not the, CFO or the KPI holders to decide the budgets. So, at the end of the day, we are consumers watching the game. I must say that I was entertained by the. I mean, I look at it in a different way. I mean, I look at this style of play. I mean, you can see it shaping, and I can see that we are just warming up, right? So.
yeah,
I kind of feel there's something is brewing this year. I don't know about you, but you run a podcast. So I've been listening a little bit to you. So, ladies and gentlemen, this is Phil. Like, can you tell me a little bit about your podcast and what you're talking about, and so introduce yourself.
yeah. To be honest, I mean, I've not done a podcast now for probably about eight, 10 months, something like that.
Haven't you?
I
Okay.
did it as part of a team of someone who was just trying to build something. Now United Active. He just changed his name. I was part of that team when we were doing the podcasts, but I think the problem was the team we were trying to put together at the time. There was too many of us who we were trying to be put together from all different parts of the world.
Yeah.
And we had so like I was doing a podcast at 11 o'clock at night, whereas the other guy who was in the team, so to speak, that's being built, he was in Australia about 4 o'clock in the morning or something.
Oh, what a challenge, yeah.
Yeah, so I think it just faded, and United Active's done really well. They've rebranded themselves, built themselves up.
Fantastic.
And they've kind of took a different approach on things. But for myself, I did consider setting up another podcast of my own. I never got around to it, to be honest.
Yeah, I never spoken to you before, but we've been in touch a little bit on DMs and stuff like that. And
that's right, yeah.
And I always I said to you in the DM, sorry, I've been so busy, but I heard some of your podcasts and I kind of liked the way you guys were breaking it down. So, I'm really thank you for coming on board on such a short notice. I know you have family as well, and
no problem, mate.
So I wasn't supposed to. I mean, I'm learning as I'm going, so I've never done YouTube in my whole life. So you can see like some clumsy intros, but I think what I'm trying to do is more to, football doesn't really, it belongs to the people. I always said, the way it used to be, right? So, I grew up, as a United supporter from the diapers from my grandfather and my father and this kind of thing. So, the past, football died for me, United died for me when my grandfather passed away. Then I got back onto it, I can't remember. It's Old Trafford. I was there 7 years ago, when Mourinho was there and Zlatan was there and everything else.
Yeah.
And then I thought it was positive, because we got Pogba back. We started to invest in players, and we finished. We won the Europa League that year. Was it a year after? I think was it that year? I can't remember. Time flies anyway when you haven't won anything. But so I joined Twitter Spaces a little bit of a year ago, because I was just always on the move, always on the fly. It's hard to catch good United news. So I never been a social media person. So LinkedIn is kind of like where I professionally
Live
speak to my network and my contacts, to be transparent and honest. So, but when I came on board the Twitter, I was kind of, for me, United was the old United way of back the team, back the manager, glory, one United. But then I kind of saw that, social media has kind of destroyed and created some form of elitism, if you know what I mean. I'm a better fan than you. And last year was just horrible. Starting calling people E-Reds and,
Yeah, it was toxic, wasn't it?
Toxic, yeah. But I think that you fight fire with water. So I think that, when you start winning as your team, like, that toxic, what do you call it? That negativity vibes goes away.
Yeah,
So part of what I was thinking, well, hang on a second, how can we change this within the fan base? Because if Eric Ten Hag can come in and, change, I was in Bangkok and I saw him like, doing this training session when he was actually punching people, like, doing the push-ups and stuff like that. So I was going, wow, you don't want to mess with that guy, right? So already then I kind of felt that this is going to be, we are in for a surprise, right? We are in for a surprise. And I was totally calm and collected the first two games that we lost against, was it Brighton? And I didn't even
Brentford.
watch it. Brentford, yeah.
Yeah.
But then I was going, this is just pre-season, mate, Phil. This is pre-season, So our season basically, I thought, is kicking off at Liverpool. And there was and that, my friend, I regret I wasn't there, Theatre Dreams. I literally just want to crawl into the TV and it's like, yes, get in. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it would have been amazing atmosphere to be in. I wasn't there myself, but yeah, I was actually at a wedding that night. I've been invited up to a wedding 2 hours away.
Yeah, I thought I remember
for the evening do, and we obviously were committed to it, so we went to that. Like, I'm glad we did. It was, it was nice. It was nice to be part of it. And then I came back and got back about 11:30, something like that, and just put the game on. Got bed about 3:30, 4 o'clock. I was in work at 7, so it was not an ideal one, but it was worth the wait. It was worth the watch.
Right.
But,
I don't know. So this, I mean, football. I mean, for me, it's kind of like escapism. Like, especially when you're married and you have family and you work like a donkey. You try to do everything. You have a nagging wife, and so it's like you have your 90 minutes. You're looking forward for Saturday night or Sunday, or now it's Thursday night though. But still, you're getting gassed and build up for, you. But it's always, last year was always, I don't know about you, but even if we sort of played the bottom half team, I always had this like, oh shit, this doesn't sit well with me. Like, I always had the worrying feeling.
Nothing felt good. You never felt that you're going to have a chance against anybody. It just got worse as the season. I mean, I've never wanted a season to end as quick as that.
Oh God, down tool, yeah.
10, 12 games to go at the very least. I was just like, please just come to an end. I mean, I watched it to the end and I just hoped that you'd just see something, but
you're going like, if you're up there,
to,
please, Superman, help me.
Just wanted the season to end. It was just like,
I know.
And you shouldn't feel like that as a fan.
You shouldn't.
But at the end of the day, it was, especially as a United fan, it shouldn't be like that. And I think obviously under Ten Hag, we will be revived. He is still embedded. He is like really new. Yeah, he's had a pre-season, but apart from that, and I really think that Ronaldo, for whatever reason, which maybe it'll come out one day why he wasn't there for pre-season.
Yeah,
I've heard some people say it was a genuine reason. Whatever it was, I think he is genuinely going to regret the fact that he's missed it, because he is definitely seeing the difference.
Definitely. That's why I don't know. I put a thumbnail. I will put a thumbnail because I have a very cute dog. His name Cookie, and I put that she looks like a unicorn. So I said, fairy tales can happen. You don't give up, because every story has a hero, and every hero creates a legend, right? So this is what I believe that Eric Ten Hag will be. I see him as the prodigy of Sir Alex Ferguson, right? Something the one that we've been waiting for. And even if I haven't been to the Old Trafford, you can kind of feel the atmosphere through the telly as well. You can hear the Glazers out singing like for 95 minutes or 93 or 92. When it was against the Liverpool game, like you even saw the camera zooming in on the Stretford and then stop.
That's right,
out, So this is actually, the media started to pick up the whole thing, which is actually doing us a favor. I think you tweeted also, a leakage, it was appalling. I had to retweet it as well. They haven't done anything about the leakage in the stadium, and that's been there for years.
No, it was. There was a big leak in that stadium, and I think they put like a bit of masking tape over it, something random like that. And the paint job that they did just hasn't been hasn't been up to standard at all. It's almost like a lick of paint when they're doing the rest sort of thing. It's, I mean, to me, I think they are just trying to appease the fans until the end. Not even, and just so that when like when you sell your house, you paint a wall, you do a bit of cleaning.
True.
It feels like that to me. You don't make it perfect because you're moving on, but you just want to make it sellable, and that's how it feels to me.
Yeah, a little bit liquor paint, paper over the cracks a little bit, and that's yeah. No, but it's inevitable that have to sell for at some point of time, because I'm big at studying like finance and curves and geopolitics, and it comes to a time. I mean, jokes aside, I mean we are heading towards the worst financial crisis. You guys over UK feel it probably, like when you have like in the morning show when people calling you have the Wheel of Fortune, you can either win £1,000 or they pay your energy bills for 4 months. Like I was like, is this a joke? And the guy,
I saw that. It got ripped to shreds, didn't it?
Yeah, the guy won like 4 months, and it was, oh, thank you. But
yeah, I saw that video. I retweeted it actually. I mean, at the end of the day, it's the way it was done. It was poor. I actually think it's a good thing because the guy got his electricity paid for 4 months, but turning it into a game show is just
it's ridiculous.
It's a bit poor taste, isn't it?
I mean, it is a reality check that we as humans, we are like we are so used to having our football delivered, and it's things that we take for granted, like like food and electricity and heating, like this is the necessary stuff that you need in life, right? So I can understand, and part of me joking about this tweet is saying I can understand that there's a shortage of electricity, so the ref must have a blackout in his VAR room in Italy, right? But jokes aside, like because what football does for everyone is to kind of escape from reality, and you give yourself that pleasure. And what I wanted to land about last year was kind of like, I think a lot of people had enough to say, and there was a lot of doubts regarding okay, we got the new manager, but you saw the press was knife out sharpening, everyone was creating like where's the signings. But looking at it now, how would you rate the transfer window with the current squad that we have?
I think the transfer window, I gave it an 8 out of 10, and I think I gave it an 8 out of 10 because I actually think he's bought well. I think he's brought the players he's brought in. I know that we've essentially overpaid for Anthony, but at the end of the day, like I said on the timeline, we'd already took Martinez. Why should they not charge us more if we're going to just keep taking all the players? So as frustrating as it was, we've overpaid. But at the end of the day, I think he'll come good. I think he did okay for Arsenal against Arsenal. He got his goal, which was well taken. I think he's definitely he needs time to bed into the Premier League.
Yeah.
And I think tonight Anthony was poor. I don't think he was great, and I wasn't surprised when he was took off. But saying that, I don't think many of the players were good tonight. I'm sorry, I've just spotted I'm down to 3% battery, Mick, and I can't put it on charge anywhere. So if I suddenly disappear, it's not personal.
That's okay. There's just one super chat or chat. So Old Trafford, any chance it will renovated soon? Good question, mate. That was from usually Samuel. I remember, Samuel, that Richard Arnold said in an interview, like to renovate the stadium we need 200 million investments. So it's clear and obvious that the Glazers will not dip into their own pockets. So if you want to sort of ask me questions, because I think Phil just disappeared, he said he has 2% batteries. You can call in as well. If you check one of my tweets, I put in the link in the videos in the description on the tweet while Phil is charging. So Sam has another question. And also, honestly, I think it's over for Maguire and Lindelof as well as with Fred. They need shipping out. Well, in a way, Samuel, I mean, we need squad depth. That's for sure. Like, we're seeing that. I even think that Luke Shaw would struggle to get back to even run over Malacia, because Malacia has been like, like he's been a beast at the, left back ever since he came in. Um, of course, there's always an embedding period, but I think that Malacia absolutely hit the ground running together with Martinez, and Martinez forming that partnership with Varane. It's and Dalot, not even to mention, who would have thought that Dalot would progress? But that just tells you what good coaching can do at the end of the day. Um, but I don't see. I don't know. Scott McTominay for me is the big surprise. Under Eric Ten Hag, I was a little bit critical about Scott McTominay, and I put my hand up to not liking him that much. I called him the bishop and stuff like that. And yeah, but you judge a player by the performance on the pitch. But to be honest, yeah, Maguire was criticized last year because his performance was abysmal. But at the same time, he was deflecting, like, in the fan base. It didn't sit well, like, even in the England game. So it's not okay to boo a player. It's not. But at the end of the day, like, they're human beings too. So it's not okay to be booed. Even if we look at the penalty shootouts, who missed the penalties, I think it was Jadon Sancho, Rashford, and Saka. The amount of racial abuse they received afterwards. But once you play for the team, once you play for the club, you're the heroes, right? But people tend to flip flop and blame a deflection. Yeah, but you're absolutely all right with that, Sam. Like, they no offense, but yeah, I agree with they're not up to United standard. No, but can they get up to with a little bit of coaching? That's the question. That is the big question. I believe yes. I'm a big advocate in providing education. Like, think about it. Like, if you go to, as a child, you grow up in school, and your kindergarten teacher saying, like, Sam, you're horrible. You cannot do this. You cannot play the flute, or you cannot kick the ball, and you always pick last. So subconsciously, you become that person, right? It's not easy, like, and especially footballers, they have under extreme pressure, like, but of course you're getting paid for it. It's elite. It's elite, but you're getting paid big money to play for United. So that's part of the reason last year where I was kind of, excuse my language, but very pissed off in a way that they getting paid such big wages and they couldn't even put a shift in for the fans, especially the traveling fans, because I've been a traveling fans a lot. I didn't want to put money in the Glazers' pocket. So whenever I had the opportunity, I was traveling to watch my beloved Reds running out. So absolutely, yes. You're playing for the team, you're playing for the badge, put a performance for the singing fans in Stratford End or whatever. Every Red matters. And we are the ones actually paying the salaries. We are the ones that are paying the merch. We are the ones that are paying the season tickets. And we are the ones that wants to get entertained. So in a way, to lose a game like we did today, it feels like we got hard done. Honestly, hard done. The way I saw the football was today was, it's a testament to what's about to happen. We've been crying out for playing good football, and now we're seeing it. Even the fan base is starting to look at it in a different way. Like, Graham Souness has still got an agenda on Sky. It's like, what is he waffling about? Like, he's got a massive agenda, against United and ESPN Sports and all of them, Craig Burnley and what I'm ever to call. I don't want to be sued here for defamation on this channel, But honest to God, like, when United is doing well, the press and everyone is salty and shaky. When we are doing bad, which we did for a couple of years here now, the knives are up sharping. There was such a bad, toxic environment created by the press and all these channels anyway. So I don't understand what beef Graham Souness has with United and what he had with Paul Pogba and stuff like that. Because Pogba, he actually, when you think about it, he did his bits. He wasn't bad, but what he was supposed to do when he was surrounded by shit. And he wasn't coached, and you know. But But no, once a player, once a United player, always a United player. Like, you can call them, except for the ones that screw us over, like Di Maria came for 1 year and just fucked off to PSG. Didn't like that, or Alexis Sanchez, like, came for big wages and took piano lessons and pissed off. But what's more comical is look at Chelsea, right? Look at the league table. It's like laughable. What I've been always saying is that people are always looking at the last year's points tally in the league table. But look, and based on that, they could say, oh, City's going to win the league or Liverpool's going to battle. But look at where we're sitting now. Okay, City's got Haaland. Okay, he's a little bit of a beast, banging goals, like tap-ins, of course. He gets service, that's fine. If you have a statue of Haaland, you're getting that service. You're going to, eat goals for breakfast. You know what I mean? But on the other hand, it's also Liverpool is a shocker, right? And Chelsea, what they are doing, it was just evidently in the transfer market. And I'm actually glad we didn't get Darwin Núñez, and that we actually got our key target, which was Anthony Dos Santos, as you know. That was part of breaking the news with him. I'm extremely happy because the whole of Brazil is happy. But we paid a lot of money. Yeah, we did. But if you balance it out, you didn't pay much money for Malacia. You didn't pay much money for, let's say, what am I thinking? Ericsson was almost zero. Like, of course it wasn't zero. We still have to pay him, like, a sign-on bonus, right? But I don't get into finances. But at the end of the day, the current squad that we have is one player transfer window away from the signing. And I'm not going to talk about who, because that ship has sailed. So we're not going to talk about that person. But I rather see, like, I was surprised that I didn't see Iqbal jumping on. But on the other hand, from a manager's perspective, I can understand that you 1-0 down all of a sudden from a penalty, and kudos to bringing on some young players. And Garnacho was very exciting to see. McNeil came on board as well. I was hoping to see more balls on the left-hand corner with McNeil. There you go. You all right? Phil, can you hear me? We can see you, Phil. All right, you fixed the sound issue, mate. And I continued. I lost my train of thought, but I was talking in moving forward, and for me, the expectation this year has never been, if we finish top 4, it's a bonus, right? So for me, it's been the rebuild itself, and the rebuild of the culture, the backroom staff, the footballing people in place, the targets that Erik ten Hag got is absolutely worked out. I've seen some people in Twitter talking about Casemiro, but you got to remember the cast just came over, he's trying to find his legs. It's a different league. There's more faster tempo than Real. I mean, this guy got experience. It took Varane one season also to embed. The first season of Varane was quite full of injuries and people saying cheese stream hamstrings. But at the end of the day, what we're seeing, Varane needs a little bit rest. And it was actually, I missed Varane today. I don't know about you, Phil, if you can hear me or I can't hear you, mate. So, anyway, I keep going on that notion that it was quite noticeable that the back 4 today was okay, but it wasn't that free-flowing attacking back 4. Martinez, when he came on, he was sublime in his, he was playing high line. He was doing some draws, not your typical center back. Like, he's a ball carrying center back in a way. Anthony did great. We had hello, who's calling? Can you hear me? Yeah, hey, how you going, buddy? How you feeling? Can you hear me?
What do you say?
I can't.
Yeah, I
Feeling
can.
better
How you
actually
doing?
by talking, just because I was quite. I don't know. Nobody likes to lose, and you get hard done, mate. So
Yeah. My name is Adiola from Nigeria,
cheers,
Africa.
Nigeria, Africa, wherever you are in the world, we all feel the pain at the moment. I don't know about you, but how did you see the game? Where you calling from? Nigeria, right? Can you hear me? Adiola, 25. Is something wrong with my sound, or can people hear me? If you can drop a description, I read all your tweets and chats that's coming through. Seems like the connection is dropping by. I'll remove you from the stage, and John, when you come on board, Phil also. But just in your chat, if you have any questions, just drop your questions, and I will read them out to you. Just don't write anything rude, because I can be dyslexic sometimes, and yeah, that's why you see when I'm tweeting sometimes it's a little bit, either it's the stupid phone which you have the T9 settings on when you're typing certain things and other things comes up, but that's funny, yeah, in a way. Anyway, it's just me ranting on here, having a little bit of a talking is always therapy, and talking moving forward is to look at this next game. And I don't know, I haven't seen if the Sunday game is going on. I mean, God save the Queen, rest in peace. She lived a long and healthy life, I would say. She lived through the World War II. She lived through the Industrial Revolution, to the automobiles coming together, and see the internet birth, the mobile phones, the tablets. That's a decent, good life, by the end of it. So I must say it's God save the King right now. So it must be King Charles coming. So I don't know if I haven't heard anything, but if the game's going on the weekend or not. Fair enough. So, good morning, brother.
Yeah, sorry, I'm back.
You're right, brother. What's the time over there, man?
Yeah, how do you view today's game?
Yeah, I was crying afterwards, to be honest.
What did you say?
Sorry?
I said, how do you view today's game?
Well, I see it from my different perspective. I saw it as there was moments of brilliance, like moments of magic, but then I saw it from another perspective, that these players is like kind of a mixture, because rotation was needed. You had Lindelof and Maguire that haven't played for a while, so
Exactly.
there was a little bit rusty though. You can see that there was still a little bit of missing the slowness, like can have been a little bit more aggressive.
Okay, yeah. Do you think Casemiro will cope? Do you think? Do you
Yeah,
think Casemiro will cope?
absolutely. I mean, 5 Champions League. Absolutely, he's mint.
Yeah, I was thinking that too.
Yeah, but it's a different league when you think about, brother. Like, you come from La Liga, right? Real Madrid. They're
Yeah,
quite hard to break down. We've seen Casemiro playing for Real. Like, he's a beast.
Sure.
Probably had a pre-season, came over to UK, adaptation. There's a lot of Brazilian, Portuguese speaking, so it's kind of embedding.
For sure.
I mean, how long has he been playing for Real?
Yeah.
It's like you changing a new job. Like, you've been working with your mates for 10 years in the same job. You feel comfortable. You can be yourself. You know what you're doing every day. But all of a sudden you're changing your job. There's new manager, new
Yeah, get it.
culture. It takes time. Like, everyone that gets new employed, it takes about 3 months, 3 to 6 months to get warm in your clothes. And, other than Bruno, he was just a freak of nature when he came in the winter. And same with Malacia. I don't know what you think about that.
Yeah, he had a very good moment today. It wasn't bad. Yeah.
Oh, he was great. He was kind of my man. Ericsson, first half.
Yeah,
Sick.
I guess he was misused. Yeah.
Shit.
Was he?
No, Ericsson was my man of the match of the first half, to be honest.
Really?
Oh, he was.
But I'd say he hadn't got that pair, that Bruno pair.
Yeah. I mean, that Bruno and Ericsson pair, the pairing of Bruno and Ericsson, that's what you
Should have
say.
been better if both of them were on the pitch.
Yeah, but that's why it's always easy to be wise after, like, let's say if we didn't know the tragic event of Queen Elizabeth to pass away, and knowing that most likely the game of the weekend is going to be cancelled, like, most of the games will probably be cancelled. I haven't heard anything. I think if we knew that event would happen, I don't think Eric Ten Hag would go in with the strongest 11, but he just literally wanted to give people a break, wanted to give the fringe players some gaming time. So the way I see it, it was kind of a practice in a way for, you know, I mean, I'm not panicking because I think we're going to finish top of the league and on top of
Yeah,
that group
actually, I'm
anyway.
not panicking either. I think we can actually compete for the league too. Yeah, at the end of the day,
Absolutely.
we actually leave the league.
Absolutely. I am, call me delusional. I mean, but I am a winner. Like, I say, what's the point if you don't have a winning mentality to compete? Like, if you're going to,
Actually, I'm a football player too,
yeah, exactly.
and I do hope I pray for Manchester United one day. I do hope I
Me
get that
too.
chance.
Me too, brother. So that's the thing, right? So I believe that we are, as a fans, in for a shock, like, because we're so deprived and depressed, right? We're not used to seeing this. Like, we're looking at it. So what's going on here? This is Manchester United. Like, I was watching the Arsenal game, the Liverpool game, and it's going, hang on a second, this doesn't sit well with me. Like, I'm so used to us losing or losing possession but if you see how we played from the back today, I didn't recognize that United at all because we never panicked from the back. We always find a way out. We played from the back. Tick tock,
Hello.
tick. Yes, hello. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can now.
Yeah, I said that we started to click from the back. How we played today, what I saw, how we played from the back, and how we played ourselves out. Um, but I was a little bit frustrated at the very end when there was no sense of urgency. Like, I was a little bit frustrated. Ronaldo should have scored.
Yeah,
The Lady Fortuna was not on our side, basically, and
yeah. I've said that. We're fortunate to get a goal.
yeah, and VAR for me, I made a famous statement. What it stands for is very
Hold
awful.
on. Was
Very,
was the
yeah.
VAR sleeping? Were they fucking sleeping?
Hmm?
I said, was the VAR sleeping? Like, were they sleeping?
Yeah. I don't know. I'm just just trying to analyze it still. I'm trying to process it still.
Even we should have gotten a penalty too.
Yeah, but you know what? Ronaldo should have got a penalty.
Yeah, it was
100%.
pulled. It was pulled
100%.
from behind.
Yeah. I mean, when you looked at it from the from the eye of the beholder, right? As I say, it didn't look like a penalty. But why didn't the VR look at that?
Exactly. I was wondering too.
I mean, the rule books is clearly stated. You saw it. He was turning away, like I'm literally turning away, like this. Hits my leg first, and then he bounces up on the here underarm. That's not a deliberately handball. That's absolutely shocking. And what we've seen in the past couple of games, even Chelsea, like even what else was it? Like VAR was just criminal. Like somebody's probably sitting there with a button, like as soon as this VAR clubs is paying the higher bidder, and they just push the button to the VAR referee, just saying, okay, ching ching ching, like you're playing some I don't know. I'm not going to promote the betting gaming, but it's kind of like comical, right? But back in the days when you didn't have VAR, at least it was controversial discussions, and VAR should be. I mean, I was talking to Phil before as well to say, like, at least be transparent, show it to the
Yeah, I'm
public
back.
what you're seeing. In this stream that I was watching, and every time I watch the Europa League or anything, you just see the referee just listening but not showing, and everyone understand what's going on. So anything can happen behind the scenes. Who knows? We all know that there's some shady. That was I
After
might
the
say
match,
FIFA,
after the
UEFA,
match.
like
Hello,
there's been major corruption issues and stuff like that going on for
hello,
years. Like hell, even Qatar was bought. So why can somebody
hello,
just buy a referee like VR own? Jokes aside, I'm
hello.
not being bitter, salty, just
Can you hear me?
thinking out loud. All right, are you there, mate?
Can you hear me?
Anyway, it's midnight. It's late. We
Hello,
had a bit of a sesh.
hello.
Let me know your thoughts and opinions. Like, let me think.
Can you hear me?
Tomorrow is a different day. Usually, like when you win, you have the winning gas for the next Sunday or so. But I don't know if it's going to even be a game on Sunday. We will see tomorrow, I guess. But you know what? We go again. That's what we always do, right? Listen, beautiful people, thanks for tuning in. I don't know, I don't see many. Where I'm sitting right now, it's midnight. It's 0140, and just about to go to sleep, take a shower, and have a good night's sleep. I think tomorrow is Friday, TGIF. It's time to chill and relax, and we go again. Take care. Be nice to each other. Good night.